the chair. So that's all right though, because we're going to deal with this world and we got that camera rolling and we're going live. So somebody going to hear this message.
Amen.
So declaring the end at the beginning, the creation. So, you know, the title really tells it all. The Lord, when he created the heavens and the earth, he had a whole plan in mind. See, this class is really like a middle section of understanding that 8th day. Because before you can get to the 8th day, you got to do 1 through 7. So we just had the feast, and we came out of the 8th day, and we understood that, you know, flesh and blood don't get into the kingdom of God. And that when God returns, he's going to return, the Father's going to return on the 8th day, and he's going to establish his kingdom here on earth. So we understand that, all right? So, but at the same time, the whole story is told when you look at the creation. It's just like back when we was looking at that Colossians, and to tell us that, you know, don't judge us and respect the new moons and holy days and Sabbath days, but these things are assigned to come. So we're going to see and work into how these things are assigned to come when we look at this creation. Now, what people don't understand is when you look in the book of Daniel chapter 1, you don't have to turn there. But when you start talking about Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, it said that these brothers had a great level of understanding in all sciences. See, what people don't understand is the Bible was here before science was here. So the Bible covers science. We don't cover things like the earth was hung on nothing. You know, they ain't know this at first. They didn't have no clue on what the world was before. You know, the Bible is the oldest religion. You know, all these other religions that come about, they try to guess and they base it off the stories that are written in the Bible. They always like, yeah, all the religions got a Noah. They had a great flood. Right, they do, because Noah was the originator, and y'all telling the story based off of him. Yeah, I'm sure the Egyptians have a story based off of Noah, and they got a story based, they got this Trinity that were made up, all this stuff, but it's based off of what is in the scriptures. All right. Now, another thing we're going to look at, too, is when we look at this creation, ain't no evolution. That's foolishness. You know, ain't no Big Bang theory. You know, all these things that they teach us in school, the Bible is clear on what the Lord did. He created the heavens and the earth for man to live on it for a purpose. He did this. So somebody might say, well, you know, what about the dinosaurs and all that? Well, you got one or two theories. Either something was here before Adam and Eve, which we'll touch on a little bit, or maybe when God made the heavens and earth, he just made an age. And what I mean by he made an age, maybe he just made it with bones in it. You know, we wasn't here to see. See, all we got is what's given to us, which is actually, and this is another thing we got to catch today, is that this Genesis is not written in real time. So that's what we get confused a lot of times when we get to reading. We get reading like, oh, the writer was writing as it took place. No, this book was given to Moses, so the story is told way after it happened. When you read the story of Noah and the flood, that happened thousands of years ago already. You know, when you read the story even about Jacob and about Joseph and them going down into Egypt, these stories had already taken place. All right? So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this at the beginning. But the funny thing about us starting at the beginning is we ain't starting in Genesis chapter 1. We're going to start this in John chapter 1 and verse 1. And again, the title of the class, Declaring the End at the Beginning. That's the beauty of the Bible. That's how we know the Bible is real. Because it's the only book that can tell you what's going to happen at the end, way before. This book tell you about Alexander the Great before Alexander the Great was even born. All right? So we're going to start this off in John chapter 1, and we're going to see why this is the beginning here. The declaring the end at the beginning, the creation. Go ahead.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Go ahead.
The same was in the beginning with God.
So first thing we want to do is understand who this God is, because you know the common verse is, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. But what we got to make sure we do is qualify who this God is. See, if we don't have New Testament, if Jesus don't come on the scene, we don't know nothing about Father, Son. You see, in the beginning it was just God. Jesus didn't become Son. Really, he didn't become Son of God until, as we saw last night, so once he was resurrected from the dead. But he was just God in the beginning. So when it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. What we got going on here is we got a team of two. See, God is a species type. He didn't say in the beginning was man, or Word, and the Word was with man, and the Word was man, because that's not the right species. See, this God here, it comes from a word that's uniplural, like the word team is a uniplural word. Meaning the city of Atlanta has one team called the Hawks. It's just one team. There is no other team called the Hawks in Atlanta. Somebody told me last night they play basketball in Atlanta. I said, what team? I knew it wasn't the Hawks. There's only one Hawks, even though they got 12 players. So he told me the team, like, y'all playing the ABA, blah, this, that, and other. I'm like, that's what's up. Okay, so he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So you got two here. You got God, now we're referring to the Father, because Jesus, you know, when John's writing this, which he's actually writing after it happened, you know, he's telling the story about a man he knew who became the Son of God. So he's calling him the Word, and while Jesus was here, he referred to the Father as God. The same was in the beginning with God. With, that's two. Read verse 3.
All things were made by him.
We talking about Jesus, this Word. All things were made by this Word. This Word is Jesus. You find that later on as you read, if you were to read verse, maybe, we'll get to that later. But it's in there. Verse 14, the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. Okay, so this Word was Jesus, and it said all things were made by him. So when we go back to the creation, and we see in the beginning God, what we doing first and foremost is establishing that God is Jesus. So when Jesus came to this earth, he came to dwell amongst what he had made. Don't sound too crazy. You know, you create something, you might want to go kick it with it. You made you some new friends. That's how that works. So he said all things were made by him. Go ahead.
And without him was not anything made that was made.
That's good. Let's go over now to Isaiah chapter 46. So he said, without him was not anything made that was made. So Jesus, that Word, who was with God in the beginning, is the one who made everything. All right. And you know, we got plenty of classes on that, but this class, it is broken up into three parts, we should say. But we're not going to so much cover the Jesus being God. We're going to deal more with the creation part. And we're going to find one part, I said a whole first third of this class is just showing you the plan of the Lord in the creation. And then we're going to deal with the rest of the creation. And then we're going to deal with the end being told at the beginning. That's how we formulated this class today. Alright, so go ahead and pick this up. Isaiah 46, verse 9 and 10. When you get there, go ahead and read it.
Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. See,
now this is Jesus talking right here. Because we never heard the voice of the Father anyway. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses don't comprehend. When they go back here, they like, oh, this Jehovah, but they're not understanding that Jesus is that Jehovah. See, they're not putting two and two together with that. So he says, remembering the former things of old, for I am God and there is none else. Right. That don't mean that it wasn't two there. It's just like if somebody said, I'm the Atlanta Falcons and there's none else. Rise up. Okay, well, there's more than one player. You know what I'm saying? You got coach, you got GM, you got president, you got a whole organization that's consisting of the Atlanta Falcons. So when you start talking about Jesus being God, you have more than, or when you're talking about God, you have more than one player. One day, the objective for us is to become one of those players. Okay? If it's acting crazy, you might have to hit that escape button if it looks like it's jumping around.
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay, you still ain't been able to pull it up yet?
Yeah, I logged back in, so I'm trying to make sure the internet is active.
Oh, okay.
Because it didn't come on the phone either.
Oh, okay.
I checked it on your phone.
Oh, I got you. No, I understand what you're saying, yeah. Well, if you just text Elijah, he'll know. He'll tell us. Yeah.
All right.
But at any rate, all right, so let's read. Go ahead and finish that verse 9.
I am God, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet
So
done.
notice what he's saying, and this is where we got the basis of our class from. Declaring the end at the beginning. Go ahead.
Saying,
And from ancient times, things that are not yet done. Saying, go ahead.
and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, I will do all my pleasure.
So he said, he said, I'm gonna do all my pleasure. So when he created this whole creation, this was for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like when he created all this is his pleasure. He had to make us. You know, we started off as some thought in these elevated beings' mindset. Alright? Let's go on over to chapter 45 now. We're gonna go back a chapter and pick it up to verse 18.
For thus said the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it.
So we talking about Jesus again. It said God that formed it and made the heavens. Go ahead.
He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited.
So he said he didn't create this place in vain. Jesus made this place so somebody could live here. But go ahead.
I am the Lord, and there is none else.
Go ahead. Okay. So he said, I'm the Lord and there is none else. Again, you know, we're not believing in polytheism or none of that crazy mess. We deal with one God. But we understand that this one God is a God family that we trying to get into. A being that has a power over the mind and that can create, that never dies. Let's go on over to verse 7. Go ahead.
I form the light and create darkness. I make peace, create evil, and I the Lord, do all these things.
So notice here what we're looking at in this creation. And this is part of the creation as well. He says, I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And we're going to look at that as we look at the creation. He said, I'll make peace. And then he also said, but the Lord said, I'll create evil. I look in one of those New World Translation Bibles say, you know, I create calamities. You know, they're trying to play and sugarcoat the word. No, he said, I create evil. See, everything, even Satan himself, is the thought of the Lord. And don't think Satan tricked God into becoming Satan. God knew what he made when he made it. He knew what level that he would take this to. All right? Let's go over here to Proverbs chapter 8. Proverbs chapter 8. See, I like to include this into the class because people like to say this is Jesus right here. But they wrong. But we're going to find out that this right here is what, you know, when we say that it all started from a thought first, this thought we know as the wisdom of God. The world was created with the wisdom of God. Alright? So let's check this Proverb chapter 8 and let's start it at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice?
So we just read verse 1 so we can see that we talking about wisdom here. This is what we talking about. Don't it cry out? Can't you hear wisdom? Don't you see wisdom? But go ahead, let's get down to verse 22. Go ahead.
The Lord possessed me in the beginning of
talking
his way.
About wisdom. The Lord possessed wisdom in the beginning of his way. Go ahead.
Before his works of old.
Before he started anything in this creation. Go ahead.
I was set up from everlasting.
So he's saying this is wisdom talking. Wisdom, this is not Jesus here. Wisdom is saying he was set up from everlasting. Go ahead.
From the beginning, wherever the earth was.
So he's saying from the beginning, whenever the earth was, this wisdom was here. So this is why we hear, as opposed to being, you know, in Genesis right now. Because before the earth was, the wisdom of God existed. See, when we read in the beginning, we talking about the beginning for us. God was already here. What's before the beginning? We wouldn't know. You see what I'm saying? But God was here. If in the beginning he's doing something. So he's saying in the beginning, we talking about at Exodus 1 and 1. That's why I said we start here in John and we move around till we get to Genesis for a particular reason. Because these things existed before the heavens and the earth was created. All right? Go ahead.
When there was no depths, I was brought forth.
So he said before the depths even came, he was brought forth. It's not on yet. It's not on.
We're trying to keep it.
I can get it real quick. Yeah, let me just go ahead and grab it. So if we're not live, I can go and get it going real quick. Ain't gonna take it.
It says live on there. It's just
didn't she?
online it has it.
Yeah, we just can't get online, so we had to shut it out. We couldn't open it back up and see.
Talking about the Adobe, I have to shut it down?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Okay.
I thought.
All right, so No, 22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his ways before his works of old. Talking about that wisdom. I was set up from everlasting and from the beginning, or ever the earth was. So we had wisdom here. So when we read in the beginning God created heaven and earth, we still see something was here before him. Then he said, when there was no depth, I was brought forth. When there was no fountain abounding with water. Let me see where we at. Keep going.
Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought
So
forth.
we still talking about wisdom. Keep reading.
While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world.
Go ahead.
When he prepared the heavens, I was there.
And see, people like to try to say this is Jesus being created, but no, this is Jesus doing the creating. And when he said when he prepared, he's talking about he is Jesus. So when Jesus prepared the heavens, I was there. Wisdom was there. So that's why when we go to the creation, we done went before the heavens and the earth, and we done found the creation. I mean, we done found wisdom. Go ahead, read some more.
When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains of the deep. When he gave to the sea his decree, that the water should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth. Then I was by him, as one brought up with him.
Notice here what he's saying. He was with him. We don't know what you're saying?
I said, now you can check.
Oh, it's not on.
Right.
All right, y'all. Just give us one quick second here. We're gonna make sure we get this feed going here. We ain't got no selection by the choir. What he said, no? But he ain't answered. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He wouldn't know then. I forgot all about that. I just talked to once a night. All right, y'all. It's all good. Okay. You don't lie. You got this right, all right? Yeah, it might be, man. We on though here, right? Oh, okay, well. We just gonna have to roll, man. Y'all can get it, man. Nah, don't worry about it. You can maybe try to move the bus if you just want to. You know what? Don't even worry about it. You got the camera. Alright, y'all. So I apologize for technical difficulties. Just was hoping we'd go live. I had sent the class out to a few shots, but I will have to catch the YouTube. They get them up pretty quick. The phone is on? Oh, it should be, but they didn't catch that yet. So at any rate, before we had the heavens and the earth, we had wisdom. And wisdom is, we don't even see a creation of wisdom. See, we don't even see a creation of God himself. See, that's taking you back to like that Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 29. That's some of that secret stuff. I don't know where God came from. You know what I'm saying? That's too deep. That's too deep. And actually, when you look at like Job chapter 26 and the Job 36, some of those verses that we got in this scripture that's kind of like on your side notes, like Job 38, for example, that's gonna go there. It's gonna take you on that level, like letting you know how you gonna figure out God anyway. You're not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All we know when we start off at the beginning, we dealing with the beginning of the creation for us and about us. So let's go ahead and let's move on to this creation. And of course, you see, I do give our homework. So we got that Psalms 136. Check that out when you get the opportunity to. You know, you can deal with most of that chapter, if not all that chapter. And that's just showing you more that God, you know, he created by wisdom. He created this whole thing. That's all. But Genesis chapter 1, and we're going to pick this up in verse 1 through 4. Because now we about to discombobulate science right now. But we're gonna put it all out here plain, the creation. So the first thing we got is wisdom. Now if you look on your page, you see here that we got 7 days and 12 days. So we're gonna comprehend this as we go along. But what you can do, and there's a lot of pens back there, I'm glad they supplied them for us today. If you might want to grab one of those pens and do some small artwork if you want to remember, because we're gonna work the board today, and we're gonna show this whole creation all the way out. You know, we're going to prove that there ain't no Big Bang Theory and none of that foolishness. Alright? So go ahead and pick this up at verse 1. When you get there, Genesis 1 and verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And
That's good. That's good. So the first thing we got that God made on the first day, God made light. All right. So you got day one. And the first thing he made was light. And we're going to put this light, over here. Way over here. All right. Now, this particular light right here, a lot of people don't understand. This is not a beam or a ray of light. And we're going to explain that to you. When I say a ray of light, we mean a visual ray of light. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Turn to Revelation real quick. We're gonna show you what this light is, but I'm gonna show you what I mean by this ain't no ray of light. Revelation, turn to chapter 21. Alright. And we looking all the way into the kingdom of God real quick, alright? And start reading in verse 23. Go ahead.
And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it. For the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof.
Alright, so we went all the way into the kingdom of the Father. And what we just saw, it said that when we get into the Father's kingdom, there was no need for no sun and no moon because the glory of God did lighten it. Alright, so now we're going to do a quick demonstration. Got a flashlight here. Alright, this one of them flashlights you wind up, right? Oh, wow. How you wind it up. And I got one question for you. Can you see anything more? Nah, I don't see nothing more. You see the same thing you been saw. But I'm creating light though, right? Yeah. Why would I need to create this light right here when I got all this light in the room? Remember the Lord said, we just saw in Revelation, the Lord said it wasn't no need for no light because he was the light thereof. So if he's the light all the way in the end, why is he creating a ray, R-A-Y, like a beam of light here? This light is something else that we see. And remember now, this light here, I'm God, I'm with the host of the heavens, all y'all even shining. What we need this for? Who need to see with this? This ain't gonna illuminate nothing more in this room than what that light is doing or that sunlight or whatever we got going. Alright? So we're gonna learn that this light right here is not a ray of light. It's something else. Remember, the class is called Declaring the End at the Beginning. And we're going to find out that's exactly what this light was about. He was declaring the end at the beginning. Let's move over to our next scripture. Let's go to Psalms 104 real fast. Psalms 104. We got to start dealing with this light. That's why I say that the class is broken into 3 sections. Once we get past this light, this class moves real fast. But we're going to have to pay this some attention. Alright? Psalms 104. And pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God.
Go ahead.
Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty.
Go ahead.
Who coverest thyself with light as with a garment?
Oh, so we getting our second witness here that he covered himself with light like a garment. So he don't need a ray of light. In the beginning when God, when he created the lights up there, what was like, how could this be a creation of light if he already is illuminating the room? You didn't create any, I didn't just create no extra light in this room. You don't see no more when we just saw me put the light. There's nothing more you can see. Alright? So let's again find out exactly what this light is. Let's go to John chapter 1 now. Man, me and Brother Howard were talking last night. And man, that John had a great understanding on Jesus being God. So when you start talking about John had a great understanding on Jesus being God, notice what you're going to see here. He going to show you this light. You see what I'm saying? Like when you go read Matthew, Mark, and Luke, they don't begin, they start talking genealogies. They talk flesh. But when you start looking at John, he on a whole nother spiritual platform with his delivery. Not saying Matthew, Mark, and Luke didn't have that understanding, but it's about who he writing the book to. That's really what it's more about. Okay, that's a whole other subject. John chapter 1, pick this up in verse 4. When you get there, go ahead and read.
In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
So notice here we see another light right here that is referred to as it says, in him was life, and the light was the light of men. Alright? So now we know that the sunlight ain't the life of is not the life of men. But we're gonna see some more though. Go ahead.
And the darkness comprehended it not.
The light shine. Go ahead.
And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not.
Alright, let's skip down to verse 9.
That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world.
See, now some people might take this the wrong way, but I'm telling you, Jesus is this light right here. So what you mean? Well, what you mean, brother? Jesus is this light. You mean to tell me you just showed me that Jesus created that light? Well, you're absolutely. We're not talking about Jesus the entity. We're talking about Jesus the idea. The fact that Jesus is going to come to this world and die for you so that man can get salvation. You got to understand, again, the title of the class is Declaring the End at the Beginning. I'm going to prove to you that at the beginning, at the foundation of the world, the Lord had already decided who was going to do what up there in the heavens. Who was going to come down here and save the creation that they hadn't even created yet. A plan was made. Just like what you would do. If you're about to build a house, you're not just about to go to Home Depot and just start grabbing wood and come home and just start hammering and nailing. That would be foolish. Remember, we saw that the Lord created the heavens and earth with wisdom. So and the wisdom was here before he created the heavens and the earth. So what we see going on here, this light, is not just a light, like a ray of light. This light here is him and the Lord chopping it up. That's why he said, it was good. You see what I'm saying? Because it was. Oh, all right, I can go for that. We're going to do this. Yeah, you're going to die. I'm going to die. But we're going to see that in a second. Let's look at some more. Did we read verse 10? All right, let's go over. We did read 10. He was in the...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
He was in the world, and the world was made by him.
Talking about this light. He was in the world, and the world was made by him. Go ahead.
And the world knew him not.
But the world didn't know that this was God. That this was who we found when we was looking at Isaiah. And when we was looking in John chapter 1, verse 1. Let's move over to John chapter 8, verse 12. I know we got a lot of scriptures on here. I got more on my paper. But a lot of them is just 1, 2 verses. You know what I'm saying? This class really does move. All right, go ahead. John chapter 8. But since we ain't live, we ain't worry about the clock. I might just add all the rest of the scripture. We're going to be here 3:30. Y'all know. Gonna take an intermission and everything. I done did that for y'all. I'm going to take an intermission. Get some water, use the bathroom. John 8 and 12.
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world.
I told you that Jesus is the light. You see what I'm saying? So he said it himself. So who are we to say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about? You ain't the light. You see what I'm saying? Which light is he? We know he ain't the S-U-N. We only see the light, but you got to understand he's creating this again, and we're going to prove this is the plan. When I say we're going to prove, how many scriptures are we from proving it? We're about 4 scriptures away from just laying it all the way out there on what exactly we, showing when we say that he is that light. He is that light in day 1. This day D1, it represents light. So on your paper, you can put a little light up there. You can draw the light, but I don't need you. And remember it said, in the beginning God created the heavens and earth, and it was water. So we can put this water over here. You know what I'm saying? I think he said it was water. Didn't he read water in Genesis 1? I think he read water. Yeah. Let's put this water over here. In the beginning God created the heavens. And then he got the earth, right? And it said it was water on the face of the deep, right? And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water, right?
Right.
And God said, let there be light.
Right.
The Spirit of God is up here. We just do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Spirit of God. Really, his angels or his host or whatever, they moving upon the face of the water. God said, let there be light. But I just circled it so you can see it. I just circled it so you'll think it's the sun. I don't want you to think that that's the sun. Jesus ain't got no sun up there. Remember, we just read where it said, I am the light of the world. Read the rest of that.
He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
Right. See, don't get your mind twisted and get to thinking, well, it's like a light following Jesus or something. He got headlights on the back of him or something. No, it's not like that. He ain't got no brake light on. You know what I'm saying? This light that we see is the pathway. It's the way to salvation. See, all that was done at the beginning, just like you would do. If you about to create something, you gonna make an end game. You know what I'm saying? You about to just think you about to make man. You ain't just making some little Lincoln logs that you gonna just smash when you done. Even when you do a racetrack and put your racetrack together, you gonna still have the ultimate goal. I run the track. So when you about to create man, you gonna be like, all right, so what man gonna do? Am I gonna do him like a dog and just let him live in, then he just die? No, I can't do that. Cause then he's just another animal. I can't do nothing with it. All right, let's move over to did we read 34? How much of that did we read? Oh no, we need to go to where you at? Hey. Oh, okay, let's go to John chapter 12 now. I'm sorry. I know I already turned the page. John chapter 12. So again, like I said, this class is broken up into 3 parts. And this first part that we dealing with is what the Lord at the beginning of his creation. This is one of the things that people don't comprehend too well. This is where they start talking Big Bang Theory and all this organized confusion out there. Like, no, this ain't how it went down. You don't read that nowhere. It just say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. That's all you read. How long ago was the beginning? I have no clue. Doesn't take. It could be 6 billion years ago. I don't know. Just in the beginning. Irrelevant. And when I say irrelevant, because what we are going to find out is when we start calculating time for man. You got to understand that this book is given for man to get his salvation. Nothing more, nothing less. Right. So therefore, we don't need, we don't need no scientific calculation to figure out what came before day one. Did nothing come before day one. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't dealing with the Neanderthal man and all that scientific garbage, that jargon, stuff they can't prove. Okay? So now that's where we at. John 12, pick it up at verse 34. When you get there, go ahead.
People answered him, we have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever.
Right, they have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever. He is. He's eternal. Go ahead.
And how sayest thou, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man?
Go ahead.
Then Jesus said unto them, yet a little while is the light with you.
Notice what he said. Yet a little while, the light is with you. But remember, Jesus created this light. So he can't be saying that the light is as if this Jesus per se. Remember, the idea is what we're going to understand. Because everything in this universe started in somebody's brain. Here we see it all started with the wisdom of God. So God's wisdom, the first thing he said is, all right, this is how we going to do it. We going to make man. We're going to make him in a certain time period. And then man going to go down there because we're going to put this other angel down there with him. And he going to tempt them and screw them. All this was discussed way in the beginning. It said God created the heavens and earth. I don't know how long ago that was. Long ago. This conversation could have been going on for as long as earth been here. You see what I'm saying? It could have been going on thousands of years how they was going to do it. They could have been flipping coins on it. Like, nah, you going to go die. Nah, you going to go die. You the one that's going to make it. Nah, you going to go make it. I'm just going to sit up here. I'm the boss. Nah, I'm the boss. We can't comprehend none of that. You know what I'm saying? Remember, this book is all about us. It's not about that. That's why we don't get too deep into when we become God and we dwell in the Father's kingdom. That's why I don't go too deep into that. What's after that, y'all? We're going to live for eternal. What's after that? We don't know. Therefore, the story is no longer about man now. The story now becomes about God's. You have joined that team. You have become a part of that one. So anyway, where are we at, bro? Go ahead.
Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. But he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. Right.
If you walking in darkness, you ain't got the plan. You on something else now. Go ahead, keep reading.
While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light.
So now he's telling us to be children of light. So it's not like when we born, we going to be children of light, so we going to start to radiate. You know what I'm saying? And we not the indigo children either. Y'all done heard of that one yet? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing like that. That ain't what put you in the light. What put you in the light, reality, is the truth. You know what I'm saying? We got scriptures on that. I think I might have wrote a couple of them. Psalm 119 tell you, I have chosen the way of truth. Thy judgments have I laid before me. It's one of the, you know, that's in Psalm 119. I don't know what verse, but we're going to see some more to show you, like, if you in the light, that means you in the truth. That's why you know where you going. When you in darkness, you somewhere else. You ain't in the truth. Let's go over to Psalm 36 real quick. Psalm 36. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is one verse here. I know it's 30 on here. This is not my record though. I think I done did what, about a 35 or 36? Yeah, this was gonna be short today though. Psalms 36 verse 9. Go ahead.
For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light.
See, no, look at here. It says, in the light we gonna see light. Right, because in this light, we gonna see the truth. That's what we gonna see. When we start talking about, but notice what it said here. It said, and this is you know, David, and he's talking to God. He said, for with thee is the fountain of life. With God is the fountain, or like how Jesus said, you know, if you drink from me, I'm gonna give you, I'm that living water. You see what I'm saying? So he said, in you is the fountain of light, and in thy light, because remember, he created that light, shall we see light. Alright? But we're not talking about, again, a ray of light. We're going to continue to prove it. Because remember, I'm going to do the example again, because there was a couple people here. But a guy who clothed in light, this don't do nothing for him. This don't light up nothing else. There's nothing else he need to see. You can still see the same ceiling. You know what I'm saying? We can see everything. Look, I pointed back at the light, you can't see it at all. Right. So then what's the point in me creating a ray of light when I'm clothed with light? I don't need to see. Alright, even Satan himself is clothed. All them angels, they illuminate. Alright? They can dim their glory. But that's a whole nother class. Let's go over to Psalm 43. That's why when you look at Moses, he chopping up the Lord, he's like, hey, no man see me in my glory, man. They can dim their glory. That's why Abraham was able to like chop it up with God. Why? Because he cut that light down a little bit. But it tell you he is clothed in light. His gift. That's why when you read Daniel chapter 12, it say that when you get in that resurrection, you gonna shine like the firmament. You know, you gonna shine like the stars. You're going to be bright like that. So therefore, the moral of the story is, why would I create a light when I'm already light? Right. This light got to be for some other purpose. Yes. We're going to keep understanding this stuff. We're going to keep finding. We're going to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, because we got to. Psalm 43 verse 3. Go ahead.
Oh, send out thy light and thy truth.
Now notice what he's showing you here. He says, send out your light and your truth. See, and a lot of times when you read the Bible, you'll see the Lord make a statement, turn around and say the same thing. This light is the truth. But go ahead, keep reading.
Let them lead me.
Right, let it lead me. The truth gonna lead me. The light gonna lead. The word gonna lead me. It say in Psalms 119, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Go ahead, read some more.
Let them bring me unto thy holy hill and to thy tabernacle.
Right, ain't no light bulb bringing you to the holy hill, y'all. Right. The word of God is what's bringing. The truth is bringing you to the holy hill. This is that light, the way. Let's go prove it some more. Revelation chapter 13. Revelation chapter 13. This is going to take us back to the class. Yeah, this is going to take us back to the class. And you'll know what I mean when we get there. Revelation 13. And we're going to pick this up in verse 8. Revelation 13 and verse 8. When you get there, go ahead and read.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
So now, you know, this is near the end time. And, you know, we dealing with, you know, mark of the beast and all that kind of stuff. So he's saying all these people that's going to worship him, talking about the mark of the beast. What though? Go ahead.
Whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Oh, we on day one. When God created the heavens and the earth. And we reading here that the foundation of the world, when God made it, the book of life was already in existence. It's saying it. And they that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb. Slain, the Lord was slain from the foundation of the world. This is that way though. Him being slain is how you get your salvation. If he don't die and resurrect, of course, then we don't get salvation. That's the way. That's the light. The game plan. See, wisdom would do that though. Only a foolish man will go into something blind and just start working. You see what I'm saying? So but remember, the wisdom was here before earth foundation was even here. So that's why he had to do it like this. You got to remember the story, not in real time. The story is handed to Moses. You know, he might have told Moses, he was up there for 40 days. He might have told Moses a whole lot when he told him that. Moses might have just been like, God said, let there be light. And I can't even explain all this that you just said. You know what I'm saying? And you said it was good. So let's go on over now to John 3. This one here, this one of them famous scriptures. John 3:16. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever should believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life, right? Everybody know that. I mean, that scripture's so popular, man. You go on Sunday morning on TV, right? They kick a field goal, you go 3:16. That's how popular that scripture is. Don't nobody read the rest, though. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they say, well, we don't want to touch the rest of that. Matter of fact, we're going to give you these so you will have this so you don't even think about going back into the book. Let's go see what else it says. Verse 17, go ahead.
For God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Remember, Jesus is that light. Remember, he created that light, but the ideal of Jesus, the idea that somebody going to come down here and die for you, that's him. And it says, for God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. That plan, that idea started at the beginning, before he made us. Go ahead.
He that believeth on him is not condemned.
If you believe on this light, you good. Go ahead.
But he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Go ahead, keep reading.
And this is the condemnation, that the light is come into the world.
See, I told you he was the light. That's the light has come into the world. But remember, he the creator, so he can't be it wasn't like he was created on day one. See, that's what them Jehovah's Witnesses are getting wrong. No, it's just the fact that, see, the idea, like his name ain't Jesus up in heaven, y'all. You see what I'm saying? Like the whole, like it don't work like that up there. You see what I'm saying? So now they gotta sit down and hold this conversation. They gotta discuss the Tower of Babel up there. How we gonna make that happen? You see what I'm saying? They gotta discuss the whole plan. Remember, everything in this universe starts from a thought first. And we see that the Lord did this stuff with wisdom. Alright? Let's did we finish down? No, keep going.
And men love darkness rather than light.
You see, they say, but men love darkness rather than light. That's the opposite of this light. See, it wasn't never dark to God. No way, period. How's God? If it's dark, you can't see. How can God not see? Again, we dealing with the plan and the makings for man. Go ahead, read some more.
Because their deeds were evil.
So now that darkness, remember we saw in Isaiah, he said, I create light and I make the evil. I told y'all that the Jehovah's Witnesses say it was calamity. I said that so that when I brought it back up, we can remember that we saw he make evil as well. All that was discussed in day one. The definition for sin was given on day one, before he ever made us. That's why we know the commandments was here from the beginning. You can read that in Psalms 119. Go ahead, read some more.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
Right, because when you come to the light, you come to the truth. Then like we just said, the commandments is here now too. It's going to show you, oh, you're a thief, you're a murderer, you're a liar. All that was established in the creation. This is the part of the creation that we always look at the physical creation. We're going to break down the physical. But we never look at the spiritual side of it. That the Lord put it all together before he started working, just like you would do. I know you ain't about to just start working on a car. I'm about to build me a go-kart. You don't know the first thing about motor. You ain't even talk to a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll put this lawnmower motor on here. Don't know that it ain't going to move because it ain't got no way to get them tires to roll. So you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to come up. You're going to have an idea. And the light going to have to go off in your head like, oh, this how we do it. That's all he did. So God ain't so minute like man. You see what I'm saying? When the light go off in his head, it's because he created the light. He like, this is how you do it. All right? Let's move. Let's go some more. Where we at? You read that already? No. Go ahead.
But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God.
All right, so now we're going to get to some more of this creation. Now we're going to get to that physical side of this creation. We done pretty much touched the spiritual side. We almost done, just that fast. Because the rest of this stuff is just move real smooth. Genesis 1, and let's go to verse 5. Genesis 1, and let's go to verse, well, actually do me a favor and pick it back up in 3. Go ahead.
And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness.
So really what you got going on is God saying this is what's good, this is what's not. Remember, he can see. He ain't in darkness. All right, keep reading.
And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
Go ahead.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
So now what we have done now, because this is creation for man, we have now determined what qualifies a day. What qualifies this day 1 is evening, because it was dark first on this earth, then morning. And the way I like to look at it is, when the sun is gone, the day is over. That's how I like, the day is literally over when the sun is gone, because now we into the dark. All right, but this day 1 is just like this. Evening first. Now, beginning is somewhere, in the beginning, I don't know how long ago. But once he started giving us a schedule for how we gonna map out time period, he started just with evening and morning. Just titles. All right, go ahead. Let's move over to verse 6 now. I think, let me see. Yeah, go ahead, verse 6.
And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
All right, we got an eraser. We got no eraser. Yeah, let me get a knife. Now we got to do this physical part. I got to show y'all how this earth is made. And you know, I don't read the books too when they say, you know, they got the continental shift thing. I don't necessarily discount that. Maybe this is when it shifts, where we about to start playing here on the board. But what we're gonna look at is, remember, he said in the beginning you got the heavens and the earth, and water was upon the face of the deep. Now really, let's look at it more like an aquarium. Do it more like this, like an aquarium. Really, the galaxy and the universe is so big that this is really not doing no good to what the reality of what it is. You know, thank you. All right. So, but what we got going here is we're going to get this earth out this water. And when I say get, because it's in the water right now. Like if this was the bottom of the aquarium, the earth is in the water. Because that's what it said. So the way he did it, he said, did you read 6? Read 6 again.
And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. And let it divide the waters from the waters.
All right, so this is how this just went down. So we had, and that's why you got the days on your paper, so that you can write it yourself, because when it's gone, it's gone. You know, I mean, we can do this at the class, I can, you know, do it again, but. So now what he's doing, we got a body of water here. All right. Then we got the firmament. And then we got another body of water here now. Still got the heaven. Still got the earth. This is what he just did right here. So he just divided. It was one big body of water. I don't know how big, but it was just huge. Maybe it took up the whole galaxy. Who knows? Maybe the whole galaxy is a small fish tank to God. But then what he did is he just grabbed that sheet of water, bam. And now you got your firmament. Your firmament is from shoes. You look outside, that's firmament. Everything you see going on, that's firmament. All right, all the way till you get to this body of water. I'm going to show you that the heavens sit on the body of water, though. I'm going to prove that to you shortly. All right. I think I kept it in here. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's where we're going. How far do we get in Genesis? Okay, read some more.
And God made the firmament divide the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so.
Go ahead.
And God called the firmament heaven.
So now we got another name here too. Heaven. That's what this is. That's for later usage. For those of you take note, do good Bible study, this is for later usage. That this is heaven as well. Because this ain't the heaven of heavens, where the Father and the Son dwell. This is another heaven here. Just like we find later, you read it like Deuteronomy 30, this place here too is heaven. And them the only heavens you got. Don't go in that book of Enoch looking for more than one heaven. You're going to find it, you're going to be went dumb messing with that. That book layered out with heavens. I think they say they got 7 of them in there. You know what I'm saying? Nah, all we read in the book is 3. That's all you need.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need when you look out into the galaxy and you look out into the heavens and you look past the Milky Way, even though you can't do that. When you look past the Milky Way, it's still the same heaven as it is when you was in our atmosphere. There ain't no extra new heaven, nothing like that. Alright? So that's what we got so far. And remember, this is day 2. And the way we calculating the time here is just by evening and morning. And when I say the way we calculating time here is because he's calling this day 2 for a reason. Because we're going to learn later, it's a period. Because remember, God dwells in the light. So it'll never get dark on him. Even when he calling evening, when he like it's evening like it's dark, it ain't never dark on him. You see, it's like being in Alaska or something. You know, in the summertime, it's just always light. But it's still a day still exists, so he's giving you a formula for that. He's saying evening, morning. That's a day right now, which we're going to find later comes out to 1,000 years. See, this is why I say I'm trying to help us bridge that gap of how we dealt with that tabernacle and how we went, how old now, this is the 8th day now. You see what I'm saying? Well, where are the other 7 days at? Well, we're going to get the other 7 days. Okay? But we getting there though. We ain't got far to go. So let's go over to Psalms 104 now. Psalms 104. I think we've been there once before. We going back. Because one thing we do here is we prove stuff and we like to use the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. And I'm telling you that there's a body of water that sits between the heaven and the firmament. That's why ain't nowhere in the world these folks can leave this place and go up and fight God. That's why they got to wait on him to come here. Because you'll drown first. Your ships ain't making it past that water. You're gonna have you ever seen a submarine leave the water and fly? That's what you're going to need. They don't do that yet. They ain't got that type of technology. And then you got to still get out to the atmosphere. You understand what I'm saying? You got too much to deal with. So we can't get to where God is. Yeah, I know I'm working him over there, but hang with me, bro. And I can't say I'm staying here either, so you can just watch it again, though. You'll have a video. But I definitely appreciate you, though. All right, so let's move on over here. Psalms 104, pick it up in verse 3.
Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the water.
We talking about him. We talking about the Lord laid the beams of his chambers on the water. Chambers is where you live, like your bed chambers or something. So he said it'll sit on the waters. This the water that we talking about. This how it works. You know, and then we can maybe put it like, I'm not trying to be the greatest artist, but I'm trying to get you the idea that it's the beings of, when you say, well, Jediah, that defines the laws of gravity. First of all, understand some God created the laws of gravity. Secondly, when Jesus was here, didn't he walk on water? That's right. So then what's the big deal for him to put his crib on water? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's us who can't figure that one out. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize he hung the earth on nothing to start with. Figure that one out. Now, that amazes me a whole lot more than him putting the heavens on some water. At least water got a substance. He got the earth just hanging on nothing. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we get caught up in the wrong thing. You know? Okay, trying to figure out, well, how was Jesus born of a virgin? Just tell me how God made Adam and Eve out of dirt. Right. You figure that one out, then we can get to the virgin scene. Right. You know? That's why I said sometimes our minds just be on the wrong thing, man. Just trying to prove what we think. And it ain't about what we think. It's about what we can read and what we can prove to know to help us get our salvation. See, that's what all this is. Even this creation. See, this creation is about it. See, now we should understand that when God made that light, the commandments will say, that means the clean and unclean been here from day one, y'all. That's why it ain't no big deal when Noah get on the ark and he like take 7 of the clean and 2 of the unclean. Well, yeah, you been through this, right? These commandments, that's why it's wrong when Cain killed Abel. This stuff big, it ain't like I had to wait to give you a declaration of these things to know, like, oh, you didn't hear Cain say, oh, my bad, I didn't know I couldn't kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know that. Nah, you knew. Tree of life was in the garden. You knew. So anyway, where we at now? We done with verse 5. Let's skip over to verse 5. We're still in Psalm 109, right? I mean 104, right? Verse 9. Verse 9 is good. We got what we want.
Thou hast set a bound that may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth.
Go ahead.
He sendeth the spring.
He talking about this water. He done made a. Well, we gonna get there. We about to get there now. You know what I'm saying? That because he gonna pull the earth out of the water, and then when he pull this earth right now, the earth's still in the water on this day too. When he pull this earth out of this water, really the earth is bound where it can't go. It can't go. Like you seen when you go. You don't know how many people been to the ocean, but you might have seen it on the move, and that water just be coming up to the coast. It just be coming up to the coast. Very seldomly do it go, and even when it does go past the coast and create a little drama, like Louisiana, it ain't like they going to Kansas. You see what I'm saying? Like it's barely touching the planet right there, and that's the Lord controlling that anyway. That's what He's showing you. But we're gonna see where this plays in at a little more. Go ahead, finish reading that.
Which run among the hills.
Did you? That's all 104. Okay. All right. Yeah. So thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over. And we talking about that water. That's what we talking about, But let's go over here and look at this so we can see exactly what we looking at. Let's go over to Genesis chapter 1 now. Genesis chapter 1. We're going back to, and we're gonna be doing a lot of jumping in and out, of Genesis 1 because this is where the creation is. The story is told from the beginning, y'all. That's how sweet God is. But we read that already when we looked at Isaiah. He said, I declare the end at the beginning. And that's exactly what He did. We was just too ignorant to see that. That the story had already been, but the pieces in front of us. Genesis 1, pick it up in verse 9. When you get there, go ahead and read.
And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear.
So now what happens is the water proceeds a little bit. Now really this round over here, you know what I'm saying? I could do it like so, it's round, you know what I'm saying? And now it's firmament going all the way, galaxy way bigger than this board, you know what I'm saying? It's firmament going all the way around, everywhere. Firmament all the way, it's 4-dimensional, you know what I'm saying? Or 3-dimensional, it's firmament everywhere, all over the place. And then you got this body of water now, where you get, this firmament is the heavens. You got this body of water, these the chambers we read about in Psalms 104, and then you got the heavens where the Lord sits. And that light, I just keep that light up there. That's the plan. You know what I'm saying? That's like leaving the blueprint out of something. Alright? But then He said that He divided the waters from the land, and then earth started coming out. So these will represent your mountains or even just your land. You know what I'm saying? I just drew it out so you can see it a little better because this is still water. And most of the world is water. So most of this planet is water, earth. Alright? So read that verse 9 again.
And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered
So when He's talking about under the heaven, He's talking about under this particular heaven. Alright? Go ahead.
Be gathered together under one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so.
And it do say one place. That's why sometimes I say, well, maybe it was a continent. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't go that deep into the science. When the continental shift is saying that all the land mass was connected at one point, and then it shifted out. You know what I'm saying? But if it did at an elevated rate, at a fast speed. That's what I would say. Maybe this is the continental shift right here. So I'm just trying to talk some science to some of those who know science. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really know, but I do know one thing. When Noah was in the flood, he did the same thing again. He caused the earth to go over all the land, and then He pulled back the waters again so the dry land to come out. It ain't like the dry land had to move up on it. He receded the waters. Just like He do when it rained. If it rained real big out there, you know what I'm saying? And science can explain how the water recedes. They call it evaporation. That's what they call it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what you want to call it. It doesn't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, what I'm telling you is we can understand science, but I want you to be bigger than science. So if you need a term, you can use that term. It's just the power of God, though. You see what I'm saying? That's what, when you wake up in the morning and the ground is wet, but you ain't seen nan bit of rain, yeah, they like, well, it was condensation in the air. No, that's just the power of God. He been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I say, now if you want to, you know, you can get scientific with it, that's fine, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they hit your chest when you about to die with the electricity to bring you back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, that was the power of God that just brought you back. I don't care. I can run electrical bolts into this wall and they come alive. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you know, science is cool. I'm not trying to hate science because, like, I can show you in Daniel, them boys had a great understanding of science. I just want you to be bigger than science. I want you to be on God's plane so you can really see this. And then you can fit your science in where you want to.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you want to, well, I don't know. It's like we were talking about, you know, the moon having life. We're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, people say they've been to the moon. I ain't never been to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Like, closest thing I've been to the moon was Derby Hill in Detroit. And that's the furthest north I done been up, and it's a high hill up there. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if anybody ever been to the moon. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying I don't know. So then don't be so quick to put your faith into something that you don't know, that you can't prove. Now, I'm not saying that somebody, you know, maybe your son gonna go to the moon one day. You know what I'm saying? He might tell me it's hot up there. You hear what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I ain't never met nobody. I know when they try to send a school teacher out there, the plane crash. The shuttle crash. The shuttle don't crash all the time. They been sending stuff out of space all day long. But they say, you know, they want to send somebody who gonna come back and tell the story. Now she dead. So I'm just saying, it's something to think about. So at any rate, so we into this day 3 here. Keep reading.
And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he sea.
Go ahead.
And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, and whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so.
Go ahead.
And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 3rd day.
So on another note, y'all, you know how you got this tree, you got seed, and all that kind of stuff. But just like you got more than one light, we're going to see, you got more than one tree. You see what I'm saying? When I say you got more than one tree, you got a tree that yield, he's telling you, I got trees that yield fruit. But then with seed, but then later on, next chapter over, he gonna put another tree in the middle of the garden. You see what I'm saying? The tree of life. I mean, but how? What tree give life? All these trees got seeds and earth. You know what I'm saying? What tree give life? The Lord do. That's a whole nother subject. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to put that in your, you know, as we on this subject matter. Like I said, well, we know it's more than one light. We done seen more than, we done went to a verse even and seen 2 lights. So we know it's more than one light. So that's just like it's more than one light, you know, more than one tree. But these trees right here, these are trees that we was gonna use to eat that physical off of. You know what I'm saying? Had herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit. We don't play with that. That's why I don't trust the fruit with no seed in it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because shoot, this ain't what I read right here. What y'all done did? You know what I'm saying? Y'all done manufactured something that probably ain't got no nutrients in it. Yeah, they do that, y'all.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We do eat food that don't have nutrients in it. They just fill your body and don't do, you know where it do? They go out the drought. That's where it go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little, you know, and I ain't saying I ain't never ate nothing without no seed, but, you know, I know over the past few years we pretty much make a conscious effort to eat some seeds. You know, we need to be spitting them seeds out. Or you eat the seed if you want to. Heck, I don't know. It probably won't kill you. You know what I'm saying? But for you to get the seedless watermelon and the seedless grape, I'm just showing you what we got here. This stuff got seeds. So where that stuff come from. All right. So now let's go. Where we at now? Verse 14. Let's keep it moving. So now we're about to get to another interesting thing. Very interesting thing. Because this is going to help prove some more things here. Go ahead. Start reading.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens.
Notice where he put this light now. So we already had a light that he claimed that he created up here, way up here. But we have been proven that this light wasn't a ray of light. So we're going to put does not equal ray. Alright? So this is not a ray of light. Alright? We also showed Jesus was the light, and we showed Jesus was slain from the foundation of the world. So we dealing more with a plan than anything else, a blueprint. Instead of him calling it blue, he called it light, because it's the way. Alright? But now, on the 4th day, we getting something here that's even more necessary for man. We getting sun and moon. And he said, put that in this particular heaven. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to draw the sun. And then we're going to do like the moon. We'll put the moon over here. Alright? And then we'll put the little stars and go with it. I'm not an artist. But what we got going on this day right here is the first time.
Trees, the land.
Oh, well, yeah, they just, I can't do it. We give you one little tree. Tree, little palm tree or something. Alright. So what we got going on right here now is this your first time you get 24. But guess what though? Man ain't even here to see the first 24. See, God's still here, and God, he got another schedule he on. He's still calling evening and mornings. But we're going to get there. But what I'm saying is, sun and moon, this is what determines 24 hours. Alright, not just evening and morning that you read up here. See, each day that we see it is not a day to man. So this time period is a whole lot longer than we think. Because God lives in eternity. Go ahead and read some more.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, and divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for.
So you know, he talking to us, for the people that's gonna live here on this earth. He said, let them be for signs and for seasons and for weeks. Right? I'm trying to say, God, he did not say weeks. Right? It's very important that you comprehend that he did not say weeks, because some people be trying to take the moon to calculate the beginning of the week. Like, no, it don't work like that. He said he do this for days. We can take the sun and the moon and figure out a day. We can take the sun and the moon and figure out the time of the year. We can figure out the sun. We can take the sun and the moon to figure out the seasons. You know? Then he said, and let them be for the light in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 16.
And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
So he's saying he got 2 great lights. Now however you want to, this is the greater light to rule the day, the sun. He the greater light. And he got a lesser light to rule the night. Now however this light, you know, I know I can break it down to you like science, how they say, you know, this light reflect over here to the sun. I mean, that's how God did it. That's cool too. I just know that we just read greater light, lesser light. That's all we read. You know, we ain't reading that. And this is your start of your 24 hours. But we still don't got man here to recognize this 24. So we still dealing in what? Go ahead and read.
He made the stars also. And God sent them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the... And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
So we still dealing with this same evening and morning here. Day 4 now. We're on day 4. So if you taking notes, if you writing, if you feel like you can draw, when you do day 4, put sun and moon on your paper. That he put that in the firmament. That's what we got here. Alright. And notice here too, when he put this light here, now when he did the first light, he said that it was good. But when he did this light, he said and this light was to light the earth. So that's just letting you know something, that obviously the first light went to light that. Because he would have said it. He ain't say it then. But why would he say it? I got light. Y'all see what happened when if I tell you that I got this flashlight, y'all, and they said light the room, y'all gonna laugh at me. Why? What I need that for? I can see just fine. Your flashlight is not gonna let me see nothing better. So I'm just saying. Alright. Where we at now? Did we keep moving on here, or did we skip out of here? Oh yeah, now we're gonna go to 2 Peter. There we go. We're gonna go to 2 Peter now. Now we're gonna make some more sense of what you see in your paper. Because on your paper, there's another chart here. And as we was doing it, if nothing more, I wish you would have just wrote what was created on those days. Because on that chart. So because we gonna put all this together and show you that once we get man here, then we gonna we put it together. I don't have to let the cow bag it. 2 Peter chapter 3 and pick it up at verse 3. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust.
So Peter talking, he kicking that book, and he like, in the last days, people gonna be on whatever they want to be, like they on now. I mean, real niggas just talking about like, man, do y'all realize that all, you know, like you know, all the other sins really, they be like kind of justified. Like when I say that, like if I murder somebody, you know, I might have been jealous, I might have been envious, I might have hated. We talking about coming to the last days now, so follow me with this. You know, if I'm a thief, you know, I might have been hungry. But dude, when you're gay, there is, I mean, what's your reason for that? You know what I'm saying? What's it like, you know, and what I'm getting at with that is, that's the road, that's the path, we get into the last days to where the minds of the world is warped, y'all. That's right. You see what I'm saying? Like when Cain killed Abel, he hated this guy. You see what I'm saying? But he didn't try to sleep with him. You see what I'm saying? Like he killed him. Like where they get that at, y'all? And then they promote it so heavy now. I mean, you can't even watch this show, man. My favorite show, I'm trying to watch on TV. I'm like, man, see, that's why I don't watch live TV. I go right past that joint. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch these two dudes laying up in the bed, man. You're not gonna get me like that. That's right. Cause they're really trying to plant these ideas in your head. Like it's okay. You know, next thing you know, you see it a little more on this next show. Next thing you know, they're going to show you the man working out and he's homosexual. Next thing you know, you see one down the block and you've been used to it by now. So you don't review it. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's okay with you. You accept it. And it ain't even us they want to accept it. It's our kids. That's right. That's what they really want to accept it. So that when the world, when they the rulers of the world, that ain't where they going to take it. See, that's how I know the Lord coming back. I mean, you see what he did inside of the world. So I'm saying he's coming back, but he taking the time though. Everything is working as the light. Everything working as the plan. Just like he said it's gonna do. All right. So he says, what verse did we start off? He said, knowing this verse that there should come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. Go ahead. And
saying, where is the promise of his coming?
Yeah, where your God at? When he coming back? That's what he's saying. Like, well, you know, y'all waiting on God. I remember they making Ice used to have a song. Just sitting there waiting on God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he was kind of mocking them because he was dealing with that Islam. You know, he's mocking Christians. Yeah, we waiting on the Lord. Where he at? So he's saying, where is the promise of his coming? Go ahead.
For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Right, like ever since your father, the beginning of everything is still going like it had been going from the beginning of creation. Ain't nothing changed. Where your God at? Go ahead, keep reading.
For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
We read that too in the creation. He said that that was by the word of God that the earth came up out of there. Alright? There wasn't no evolution or nothing like that. Go ahead, read some more.
Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished.
Right, he said, but that world that he pulled out of here, it got overflooded with water. It perished with Noah and them on the flood. Go ahead, read some more.
But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store.
He's saying, but the heavens and the earth, which by that same word that pulled the earth out and destroyed the earth, he said, now they kept in store till when? Go ahead.
Reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition ungodly men.
He said they like it is right now until we destroy this place with fire now. Ain't no more water. That right there, it's okay. But that's not how I want to finish. Read some more.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
But know this. Go ahead.
That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
So, when you look at your paper, and you see, because we on day 4 when he made the sun and the moon. So when you look at your paper here, and you got your chart, you can now begin to put some time on here. Day 1, it said 1,000 years with man is but a day to the Lord. The man wasn't even here yet then. So day 1, 1,000 years. Day 2, 2,000 years. Day 3, 3,000 years. Day 4, 4,000 years. Meaning that's how much time had passed since the beginning. Since he declared time in the beginning. Because with God, time don't exist, y'all. This is all for us. How much time? What's 5 minutes to eternity? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't exist. So this is all for us. Alright? What verse are we at now? Read this Psalms of Deuteronomy 32 real quick. I know it's in your notes, but I want us to see something here because it's a reason that I put 12 on this paper. Alright? Because what we leading up to is once he begins to make man, which is on the 6th day, man gonna be here for a certain amount of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 years, then we're gonna enter into the Lord's rest. Which would actually be 12 days from the start of his creation. Remember we said that the Lord in the beginning wrote the end. This, he knew this plan all the way when they started talking about this. Remember, he did this with wisdom, y'all. It ain't no coincidence that it's 12 tribes of Israel, but then when we get to the kingdom, it's going to be 12 gates. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't no coincidence. That is so, oh yeah, oh by the way, since Jacob had another son that lived, we're going to name the next gate after him. Oh, okay, good job, Jesus. Like, nah, that ain't how that worked. That was already thought out long ago. But read this Deuteronomy. Go ahead, Deuteronomy, where we at? 32 in verse 7 through 8. Go ahead.
Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Go ahead.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam,
go ahead.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
When the Lord set the bounds of the people, he did it by the number 12. That's how many children of Israel it is. So that's why 12 is so relevant. 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. You be like, well, it ain't 12 hours, not yeah, but that's really the constant of it. If you was on the equator, it would be. You know, it would really be constant then because the equator barely moves up or down. Pretty much stays at the same spot. 12-hour days, 12-hour nights. That's what it, 12 everything, 12 months. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's just how it works. He set the bounds according, so even with God, from the beginning of his creation, we're going to find, till we get to that particular 8th day, it's 12 days. That 12th day is the 7th day. Just that simple. And we're going to see man getting here on the 6th day, and that's when you start counting the first day for man, which is the 6th day. We're going to see that, though. Let's go back. Are we going back to Genesis yet, bro? Oh, okay. Okay, I like that one. Let's go read this Psalm chapter 8. I like that one. Yeah, we about to get man and all that. And I like this. And I'll probably put it out of order, but we'll read it this way. It don't matter. It's all in the book. Go ahead and start reading.
Verse 3.
Psalm chapter 8, verse 3 through 9. Go ahead.
When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers.
So we've been looking at the heavens, the work of God's finger. Go ahead.
The moon and the stars.
We just saw the moon and the stars getting created on the 4th day. Go ahead.
Which thou hast ordained. What is man?
Right, what is man? We ain't got man here yet. All this stuff was made before man, for man. He said, so, but what is man that, go ahead.
That thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man, that thou visited him.
Go ahead.
For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels.
So when we're going to see this shortly, when we get to the creation, we're going to see he was made lower than the angels, because he don't come from dirt. See, the angels, they live forever. Just like God do. When you was made a little lower than the angels, so what is man that you mindful, that you even think about it? Go ahead, read some more.
And hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hand.
All the stuff we just saw, man got dominion over. That's why we got the ability. The monkey can't destroy this world, y'all. Right. Man can. You know, the biggest beast out there, with the hippo or the elephant or whatever, he can't destroy this place. He gave us dominion over this place. All right, we finish reading that.
Thou hast put all things under his feet.
All things, everything is under us that we have been seeing in the creation. Go ahead.
All sheep and oxen, yea, and the beast of the field.
Go ahead.
The fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the paths of the sea.
All right, so let's go watch them get created. Back to Genesis. We're going to finish looking at everything being created. God gave us dominion on all that stuff. And the reason we can jump like that. Oh, I see what I did. I didn't even put that on here, but it's all good. Oh, but I put it in here, yeah, so I missed one. So we're going to start at verse 20. Yeah, I thought that was out of order. See, what had happened was I missed something when I was typing it up, and we were supposed to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 20 through 26 first. Then we were supposed to go to Psalm chapter 8. So I apologize for that. But we'll read it here, though. It's all good. I just must have missed it on my type. I ain't want y'all to see 31 on there. That's what that was. And maybe y'all wouldn't came to class and saw 11 we got it. So that's too many scriptures. But now let's go ahead. Genesis 1 and verse 20. Go ahead.
And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
I always found this kind of interesting. You know, we know man comes from dirt, and we gonna see that. But when God made the animals, the fishes and the birds, they come from the water. You know, I always thought that was kind of interesting. You know, and sometimes when you see some of the birds, they fly over the water, they hunt there, and they hunt the fish, you know. I don't think that's relevant. I mean, I don't think they got nothing to do with it, but it's just interesting. But we're going to see that, though. He said, God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and the fowl that they may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created, go ahead, 21.
And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
Yeah, that's why I don't get too caught up in the science. Because see, science will tell you that the whale is a mammal. But we see that the whale getting created where the fish getting created. Now, I'm not saying that the scientists don't know that much of what. I'm just saying it ain't about science, y'all. You see what I'm saying? Like the whale is a fish. He's a big fish. When Jonah was in the belly of the whale in another place, they called him a fish. Now I know science tell you it's a mammal because it breathes and it gives, but it's in the water, y'all. That's where it's at. You ever seen a whale live on land? Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna make it. He can't survive on the land. He ain't that type of creature. So he was made in the water too. That's what we read now. Go ahead.
And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
So that's 1,000 years. So on that 5,000th year, he created on the 5,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, on the 5,000th year, he created the air, the birds, and he created the fish. You know, that's what he did then. Now let's go look at day 6. So we still dealing with thousands of years, because 24, man ain't here to recognize that shit. And man ain't doing the creating, God is. So this all God's schedule. Alright, go ahead and read some more. Verse, then you're supposed to put the Psalms 8 right there. So you want to put in your notes right. When he said, what is man that thou art mindful of him? You done gave him, dominion over all of this. But go ahead and read.
And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind.
So it means that the monkey is after his kind. And the gorilla is after his kind. The ape is after his kind. And that means that the ape don't turn into people.
That's right.
And we ain't came from the man that was walking like this and then we start getting, home into home. That ain't enough. Because then where we going? Right. You see what I'm saying? What monkey, have you ever seen a monkey start transforming into? They ain't found one species of monkey yet that start transforming into people. You see what I'm saying? Each thing was after its own kind. This is what we read. Remember, the God is the author of the science. They the ones that is fell in the class. You see what I'm saying? It's not that God ain't got it right. Alright? So everybody was made after his own kind. Go ahead.
And everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
So this all happened on the 6th day. So the tigers and stuff got here after the eagles and the falcons. Go ahead.
And God said, let us make man in our image.
Then after he made all of this, now he said, well, I'm going to make man in our image. See, wasn't nothing else made in the image of God. Alright, keep reading.
After our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth.
Go ahead.
And over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Alright, good. Let's go over to Psalms 104. So he creating, man here on the 6th day. So that's what you put on your paper. Man got created on the 6th day. So we're going to do it like this. I'm going to do it for you a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. So this is what man is. Alright. Then we're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's how we're going to do that. That's how we're going to do it. But y'all got it on your paper. And you see that after day 6 was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. We're going to do it like that because now we're about to start walking into another avenue. Because remember that the whole story is been told in the creation. All right. So we're going to get to another avenue shortly. That's why we wrote it like that. All right. So let's go over to the Psalms 104, pick it up in verse 19. When you get there, go ahead.
He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down.
Let's skip over to verse 23. That's why we're here.
Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening.
So notice what it's saying here. Man, he gonna work until the evening. So each one of these, you know, it was the evening, in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So he just let you know, man, gonna work until the evening. So include him in that whole day. All right? Because he gonna work until that evening. But keep reading.
O Lord, how manifold are thy works. In wisdom hast thou made them all.
Here we go again. We done brought that wisdom back here. We found wisdom before the creation. It's like how manifold is your work. In wisdom thou made everything. Go ahead.
The earth is full of thy riches.
That's right. So let's go back over to chapter. Read the whole chapter on your own time. Let's go back over to Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. So we done pretty much got everything here created. But now we got to figure something else out. And, you know, so Adam and Eve, they in the garden. We know that. You know, most of the whole world know that. That's in the Bible, chapter 2 and 3. But some people be trying to figure out where, you know, Cain killed Abel. And then God kicked Cain out the, you know, from where they was or whatever. So where did Cain get his children from, right? Alright. So I'm gonna put a scripture in this class that's gonna help us see some of that. But we're gonna read this first. Go ahead.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished.
So everything was done at the end, right here, at this end of the 6th day. So everything at 6,000 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything was done. Man here we're gonna put man here on this whole day. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, even though it doesn't matter if he was made here, that don't even matter. Because we just gonna include him on that day. That's the day that we got for him. All right. Go ahead and read some more. Read verse 2.
And on the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made.
So God stopped on this 7th day. He stopped his work. He was done. Go ahead.
And he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made.
So that means he was finished with this. All that he had made, he was finished with this creation. Making. That's what happened on the 7th day. Go ahead.
And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it. Because that
he sanctified this particular day. Made it special. The special day here. This 7th day. Even though it say number 2, but on your paper it should say number 7. But this is the 2nd day for man that we talking about here too. Alright, go ahead.
Because that in it he hath rested from all his work which God created and made.
So notice what it said. What he rested from was all his work that he's done with this. That's what's over with right there. Because you gotta understand something. For us to say that God rests. So what you mean, went to the nap or something? You see what I'm saying? Like you gotta think a lot larger than that. Let's find out what this. Well, before we find out what this Sabbath is for, and go over to Genesis, because we're gonna finish. We're gonna rewind, because Genesis is a book on top of books, just like the Bible is books on top of books. So when he made man, he made woman, and we're gonna see that real quick, and then we're gonna see something else, and then we'll finish. We'll go to the next point. So let's go over here to Genesis chapter 2, and pick it up in verse 21. Go ahead.
And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam.
So he's still in this 6th day, y'all. Even though we done read about him stopping from his work, another story began to be told in Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 4, it says, these are the generations of the heaven and the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heaven and every plant of the field. So that's a new story. So Genesis chapter 1, from all the way till you get to the first few verses in chapter 2, that's one story. Now it's another story, and the story is kind of intertwined. Okay? And it does that a few times in Genesis, all right? Just like Genesis chapter 10 and 11 when they go to the Tower of Babel. And then they get the languages divided. But then at the same time, you see the story where in Genesis chapter 10, you see the table of nations. And it tell you, you know, everybody got divided in their tongue. But then when you go to chapter 11, it tell you when it happened, how it happened. That story intertwines. All right, you got to remember, the Genesis was given to Moses. Moses up there on the mountain. Now he got to come back down and tell all this to somebody else. He just came down with the 2 tables. He didn't come down with a whole, you know, book in his hand. He got to go get his story to somebody else, all right? So now we're going to look at Eve. When God made Adam, he made Eve. I'm going to show you. Go ahead. Genesis chapter 2, verse 21. Go ahead.
And he slept. And he
And
took
the Lord God, go ahead.
And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam.
Uh-huh.
And he slept.
Go ahead.
And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Go ahead.
And the rib which the Lord of God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
Go ahead.
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
So that's why I say when he made man, he made woman. He didn't have to go make another creation. He just put man to sleep, and then he just, you know, snatched the rib out. I don't know the science behind it. And next thing you know, he created, I don't know how the science or how you make a man out of dirt anyway. You know, so that's beyond me. But let's turn over to Acts real quick. I want to show you something. They were both naked in the garden. That's what it said later. But Acts chapter 17. I want to show you something. So we'll have some good understanding. God made Adam and Eve. That's the man that he made when you read Genesis chapter 6. You know what I'm saying? Like don't, or Genesis 5 or wherever they say, you know, somewhere they try to make you have another creation somewhere. He made no other creation. Everybody come from Adam and Eve. Really, everybody come from Noah, that's his. But Adam and Eve was before them. But Genesis chapter 17, and let's pick this up at, let's just see. I'm sorry, y'all. I know what I want to. Great. Let's see, God's word. Okay, verse 26. Let me just read that one verse. I'm sorry, y'all. My eyes ain't as young as they used to be. Acts 17, verse 26. Read that verse. Read 25 first.
Neither is worship with men's hands, as though he needed anything.
Talking about God.
Seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things.
So Jesus actually is this unknown God that was out there worshiping in Mars Hill. Whole nother story. But it's saying that he gives breath to all things. We saw who do that. We saw that was Jesus. Well, go ahead, read some more.
And hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth.
So notice what it said here. He done made one blood. So everybody done came from Adam and Eve. That's it. One blood. So he didn't make no other creation. You see, that's what some people try to, you know, like he done made another man or another woman for Cain to take. No, when he made Adam and Eve, then Adam and Eve reproduced. And Adam and Eve, brothers and sisters, kids end up reproducing. And so that wasn't wrong then. You know what I'm saying? It's not wrong when you do that to a dog. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's wrong now because the Lord said so. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary no more. We got billions of people on the planet. We do not need to sleep with your brother and sister to reproduce. But if it's just two, you know what I'm saying? Like, the son ain't sleeping with the daughter. The dad ain't sleeping with the daughter. So we're going to have to figure this out right. So we just let the kids and just keep it going. That's where Cain got his kids from. And then the law came later to clarify, okay, this is a wrap now. You don't need to make no mistakes with this. You know, we're going to stop this now. If y'all hadn't stopped already, you know. So at any rate, just wanted us to see that. So now back on the subject, let's go over to Mark chapter 2. Because after he finished his work on the 6th day, the day that he made man, it said that spit it, he rested, but then it really said he stopped working. He was done. All right. So now we're gonna look at Mark chapter 2. Mark chapter 2, and let's pick this up at verse 27 and 28. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man is the Lord also of the Sabbath.
So this 7th day right here, even though it's the 2nd day for man, he made this day for man. You always remember that. When you come into the Sabbath, this day was made for you. Alright? But we got another 7 up here too. That was made for men. Alright? Because in reality, this particular 7 applies to the Lord. Man didn't rest on this day. Man lived a life on this day. They worked. They tilled the ground. Man got to rest somewhere else to enter that he ain't really entered yet. Now on a weekly level, we rest. God made it for us. But remember, these are all 1,000-year sets. See, I just put the little 7 right here because I want us to know that after the 6th day is the 7th day. You see what I'm saying? But God, what God stopped doing? He just stopped this part. Alright, he still was dealing with man even. That's work. That's what you want to call it. He didn't necessarily have to do it. He sent angels. You know. But that's on that 1,000 years. There's still another rest up here. If man is born here, this is day 1 for man, kind. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So man still has another rest to enter into that we ain't found yet. We'll prove that to you. Let's go to Hebrews now. Chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4. See, on the weekly, we doing something that's leading toward something for the whole mankind. Remember when we started this lesson, we saying that the Sabbath day is showing a shadow of something to come. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we just walked out of the feast days, and we learned during the feast days that for 7 days we was feasting. On the 8th day, we was going into something new. You know what I'm saying? But even the 7th day was showing you, like, we're going into something different then too. It's this, it's Sabbath rest. The weekly Sabbath deal with that. This weekly Sabbath is represented here. But we ain't got there yet. We wait here. Because we was created here. You see? And we ain't made it there yet. And we're going to read this verse to prove it. Go ahead. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 9.
There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God.
So there still remains a rest to the people of God. So if there still remains a rest, that means that obviously we ain't entered into a rest that we need. And it's this rest. Go ahead.
For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works.
Just like we saw the Lord, he stopped creating us. We got to still do what he did in the same schedule that he did. Right. So therefore, we don't work for 6 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we don't cease from our work. Just like he created the heavens and the earth, and he stopped working. We're going to do the same process. And this process is based around 12. It'll be the 12th day from the time the Lord started his creation. Man wasn't here then. It'll be the 12th day, but for us, it'll be the 7th day that we go into our rest. Alright? Because these are 1,000-year sets. We read that in Peter. It's how you put all these pieces together. Revelation chapter 20. So now, we're going to go look at this rest that we still have yet to enter. Revelation chapter 20. So now, man done been here all this time. Jesus done died somewhere over here. Somewhere in here, Jesus died. Shoot, Adam lived to be like, actually, Jesus died somewhere over here. Let me see. 1,000, 2,000. Yeah, Jesus died somewhere over here. Alright. Actually, Adam lived to be 900 something. Follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Adam basically almost covered this whole, probably did. Probably by the time he died, it was right at the end. Because he was born not in the 5th day, but in the 6th day. So he could have been born, 50 years into at 50 years, and then next, I created him, then he died at 950, which is the end of the day. I don't know. I'm just throwing something for you to stimulate your mind a little bit, think about it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, Adam covered the first 1,000 basically. Then you got Noah, who was when Adam died, Noah wasn't born. Adam lived to be 9 something. So, and I'm gonna put him over here. I'm just trying to show you how we done covered thousands of years just before you get to the flood. You about like 18, maybe 19. I don't know. I got it written down somewhere. I don't know why I didn't think right. But you know what I'm saying? By the time you get to the flood, already basically busted out 2,000 years. You see what I'm saying? And man only gonna be here for 6 before the return of the Lord. And it's been 2 since Jesus died. You follow what I'm saying? And really, after the flood, shoot, we go into captivity. You can put 400 over here. You see, I'm just trying to show you how time done moved, y'all. We close here. We ain't way over here somewhere. We close. This day right here is the rest that we looking for. Alright? The one that represented, the one king, Solomon's kingdom was represented. He had 40 years of peace, but we're going to get it for 1,000. Revelation chapter 20, verse 1.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent. See, this is what make it rest, y'all, because Satan going to be locked up. Man ain't been locked up. Satan ain't been locked up since man been here. He been bothering man the whole time. Jesus said to Satan, what you down there doing? He like, seeking whom I made a vow, running to and fro. That's what he down here doing. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord needed somebody to be a problem, who gonna cause Ahab to go down to Ramoth Gilead? He's like, I'll do it. I'm gonna be a lying spirit to him. These evil angels been down here messing with man from day one. How many, what you say? We are legion. Jesus, what's your name? We are legion, for we're many. He cast out the devils out of him, put him into the pig. Pigs gonna commit suicide. These angels have not given us rest since we've been here. From day one, Eve in the garden, she don't get no rest. Satan right at her. Alright, well go ahead. Which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So he get locked up for 1,000 years. This is how long Satan gonna be locked up. On this day, Satan is locked up. Alright, go ahead.
And cast him to the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more.
Go ahead.
Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
Right, so now he gonna be locked up on this 7th day, which is this 12th day, until it's over with. Go ahead, read some more.
And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
Then he gotta be loosed a little season. That's another story. Where are we? Alright, go ahead, keep reading.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. So that's how long that rest is again. Gonna live and reign with Christ for 1,000 years. Go ahead. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. So what happens at the beginning of this 1,000 years is your first resurrection. You actually got another resurrection over here somewhere. And I went outside the 7th day to believe it or not. Because once this 1,000 years up, it said Satan was going to be loosed for a little season. Just a little season. You know, just like when a woman on her cycle, she ain't clean as soon as that 8th day come. She clean after she do what's necessary and the sacrifice is made for her. Then it's just like a little boy when he go get circumcised on the 8th day, he ain't circumcised as soon as the 8th day hit. So it's a little season. Little season, and then we gonna get into doing something else. So that's after the 7th day. Alright? And that's when the second resurrection comes. Go ahead, read a little more. You supposed to know, man. Just read verse 5. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
So if you make it to this first resurrection, then you don't have to worry about this judgment over here that takes place after the seven. You ain't got to worry about nothing over here. You good. You get to reign with Christ for 1,000 years, and then when the Father come back, you know, you with him. That's what happens. If you make it to this first resurrection. That's what we're putting all this work in for now, because we want to make this first resurrection. Let's go on over to Psalms 132. We almost done, brothers and sisters. I hope we learned something with this. I hope that we can see the creation. That's all. It's simple. Like after you sit back and look at it, you're like, dang, we spent 2 hours figuring this out. But you know, some people, they go to school for 8 years and ain't figured this out. You know, they still trying to figure out, you know, how man and you know went from this form of a monkey to another, from like just stupid stuff. You know, well, all you gotta do is read the book and you'll see what form man gonna go from. God made us in his image, so when we die, we're gonna go back to the dirt, and when he resurrect us, he gonna resurrect us in his image, and we'll be in his family, and we hopefully us obtain that on the 7th day, and you know, on the 8th day, there won't be no more flesh and blood. That's why I say I'm hoping that this help you see what that tabernacle was and how you got into that 8th day, and you know where this played it with man. It played after the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? After this rest that we in right now, that we read about right now. Let's read some more about it. Psalms 132, picking up at verse 13. Go ahead.
For the Lord hath chosen Zion. He hath desired it for his habitation. This is my rest forever.
See, we talked to Hebrews about another rest. He said, this is my rest. When I get to Zion, this is my rest forever. Go ahead.
Here will I dwell, for I have desired it.
See, he said, I'm going to live here. That's where I'm going to dwell. I desire to live here. Go ahead.
I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. I will also clothe her priests with salvation.
Notice what it's saying. I'm going to clothe the priest. We supposed to be the priest. We're going to get clothed with salvation when we get into that 7th day. That's why we looking so much forward to it. Go ahead.
And her saints shall shout aloud for joy.
I know I'll be shouting. Let me be in that number. Man, look, I might not stop there. I can't dance. I might not stop there. Look at man. Lord might be like, don't you know we got to work with, hold on, Lord, I just want to get this other 2-step in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be there. You know, that's what this is for. We're trying to get there. That's what all this work is for. You see what I'm saying? That's why we sacrifice our life, get ridiculed by our family. That's why we study long. That's why we don't work on the Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? We take all this persecution, change our whole lifestyle. Because we want to be one of these. We want to have joy. You know what I'm saying? Like we suffer through it because we know this temple to eternal. That's the thing you got to understand. That when we was talking 1,000 years, like that's the best the Lord could do for us to comprehend it. He ain't got no time. What is time to eternity? Let's go ahead, keep reading.
There will I make the horn of David to bud. I have ordained a lamp for mine anointing. His enemies will I clothe with shame, but upon himself shall his crown flourish.
Yeah, because David gonna be king again when he do this. Over Israel. That's another story. Let's go over to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 now. You know, so that it won't just be a creation class. You know, I like to bring the salvation back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I, you know, you very seldomly gonna find me teach anything without bringing you back to the heart. It's about getting your salvation. All right? You know, like really, you put this class together to show the mysteries of the creation, to show 1,000 years was each day. To show that, you know, the light that you see at the beginning is not just a ray of light, but it's something different. You know, you do these things to show those mysteries, but there's no salvation in the mysteries. You see what I'm saying? That's just a bunch of knowledge. That just lets you be able to, like, disprove all the idiots out there. You see, or all the ignorant. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have salvation, what is it? So let's take it back to the salvation. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, pick it up in verse 1. Go ahead.
But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
So with all this being said, we still ain't just sure exactly, we guessing when this day gonna come. It's gonna come like a thief in the night. You might die tomorrow. You know, our little pastor was in an accident this week. Some of y'all know Lauren. Some of y'all might know it. And you know, at first they like she got flown from on the windshield. Now I know another sister about a month ago, she got into an accident, she dead. So immediately I'm like, ooh, Lord, I'm trying to get in touch with fam, like, what's up? Fortunately, the Lord blessed her. She's back on Facebook the next day. You know what I mean? Right. So I mean, but that's a blessing though, you know, because she got slung out the car. Her and she's with child. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when my mother got slung from the car back in '76, she lost her child. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what happens. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, the Lord really blessed her. You could be dead tomorrow. You don't know. Like it just, like we live this life and we be like, okay, like we just expect to get old. We make all these expectations to get older. But I'm saying though, I got a list of people dead. I can start naming them to you. You know what I'm saying? Like people really die and you don't know. And nobody thought they was going to die the day before they died. Right. You know, it just don't happen like that. Right. You know, when the young die, you didn't think that, like the day, not even that morning when you got up, oh yeah, this is a good morning to die. You see how Hezekiah was when he was about to die? He was like, oh, whoa, can I get 15 more? You know what I'm saying? Can I just get a little more time? That's how you gonna be. You ain't gonna be waking up like, yeah, today's my day. And let's movie fool you if you want to. Talking about you got your bucket list and all that kind of, man, look at it. You're gonna be going crazy, you know you're about to die. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be dreading that moment.
Yeah.
Especially at us in our younger age. As you get a little older, you might be ready to embrace it. I know my dad was a little more ready to embrace it, but we still was making plans. We didn't get to go fishing. You know what I'm saying? We was going to go fishing again. You're like, nah, you know what I'm saying? You don't plan to die. All right? So he said, but of the time and the season, brother, you have no need that I write unto you. For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Go ahead.
For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child.
I want you to remember that, because they're going to be talking peace. That's how it's going to all go down. The Pope going to come in, peace, safety, whatever, you know, find me. But he's saying, but beware, because really sudden destruction come upon them as a travail upon a woman with child. That's going to hurt. Go ahead.
And they shall not escape.
Uh-huh.
But ye brethren are not in darkness.
Notice the lingo he using here, but we ain't in darkness. We're going all the way back to we know the plan. We're going all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to show you that. Go ahead.
That day should overtake you as a thief.
Uh-huh.
Ye are all the children of light.
Oh, he calling us the children of light. We children of this. Like it says, so whereas wisdom is known of her children. You see what I'm saying? Like we got knowledge. We know. Like yeah, we know. It might come like a thief to us because we might happen to leave before time. But it ain't coming to no thief upon us. Like when we see the signs, we know these are signs. Go ahead, read some more.
And the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness.
See what he said? We not of the night, but we are the day. We are the light. Keep reading.
Therefore let us not sleep, as do others.
Uh-huh.
Let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night. And they that be drunken are drunken in the night.
So he's telling us, let us be sober. We talking about in the mind. That don't mean you can't have a drink. That ain't got nothing to do with that. They're saying, get your mind off of this stupid stuff out here in the world and concentrate on what the Lord got. You know this now. You see what I'm saying? So he said, now when you get in this stuff, when you become children of the light, okay, you need to act a certain type of way. Go ahead, keep reading.
But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation.
Go ahead.
For God hath not appointed us to wrath. See,
he said because God didn't appoint us to wrath, y'all. We saw the wrath, Satan get locked up, and then after Satan get locked up, he go to hell. You see what I'm saying? That's the wrath. But he not appointing us to wrath, though. He educating us. Go ahead, read some more.
But to obtain salvation by our Lord Jesus Christ.
Right, he said, but I'm giving you the opportunity. He just showed it. He laid out the salvation. On that 12th day, on that 7th day, what we doing every week with these Sabbath days, this is leading to our salvation. So if you can't keep the Sabbath day, you can't get this rest right here. And if you don't get this rest right here, then you got to deal with this judgment. And that's not what I don't want to have to stand to the Lord and start watching videotape of me. Like, well, you seen that? I know I said that. I'm hoping you can hear that. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna be. I did that. You know what? I'm just gonna start walking back. Because I don't think I got shot. I don't need that. Right. You see? Let's go on over here to Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah chapter 2. We got one more after this. So again, like I said, man, I hope we get it. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully this help us comprehend that tabernacle a little better. When we start talking about coming into the 8th day, we talking about past the 7th day that man was here is the 8th day. This is when the kingdom of God comes, the Father, where no flesh and blood enters. See, man been here all this time. This is all flesh and blood. Even on this day, flesh and blood here, we just ain't trying to be it. We trying to be sons of God on this 7th day. Flesh and blood still gonna be here on this earth. That's when you read in Isaiah when it say, you know, the little boy gonna be able to put his hand on the snake pit, on the cockatrice den. You know, the wolf and the lamb gonna play together, or maybe the bear, or the lion and the lamb, whatever. Two animals that don't just lie down together. They gonna lie together. When we get, it's gonna still be flesh and blood on that 7th day, because this is the rest for man. The Sabbath was made for man. The people that's alive, oh, they ain't gonna never know life like this. Like this gonna be the most peaceful thing ever to them. But for those of us that have become gods, we just gonna have work to do. You see what I'm saying? That ain't we don't what do a God need to rest for? You live in eternity. Time don't exist. Once you get it, you like it said, when it said on this particular day that he rested, it really specified he finished the work that he had done. It ain't like he went and took a nap. Alright? So let's read this Isaiah chapter 2 verse 5. Go ahead.
O house of Jacob.
So we supposed to be the house of Jacob, whether we physically or spiritually. We the house of Jacob. Go ahead.
Come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
So notice what he said. Come walk in the light of the Lord, y'all. We not talking about the sunlight. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the ways of the Lord. You know the plan not functioning. Is that all that verse? All right, let's go to our last scripture. 1 Timothy chapter 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6. Can we get some announcements over here?
Yeah, we got it.
All right, you got them? Okay, I forgot all about it. 1 Timothy chapter 6. And let's pick this up in verse 14. Go ahead.
That thou keep this.
No, do 13. No, do 12.
Fight the good.
No, verse 11. Go ahead, verse 11 for real.
But thou, O man of God, flee these things, and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness.
So this is what we're supposed to be following after, y'all. Godliness, patience, meekness, faith, love. Go ahead.
Fight the good fight of faith.
That's what we do. We fight the good fight of faith.
Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses.
Go ahead.
I give thee charge in the sight of God, who quickeneth all things.
Quicken means to make alive. So he said, I give you charge in the sight of God who's going to make everything life, back to life. Go ahead.
And before Christ Jesus, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good confession.
Go ahead.
That thou keep this commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ. Which in his time he shall show, excuse me, which in his times he shall show, who is the blessed and only potentate and the King potentate, the King of kings and the Lord of lords.
Go ahead.
Who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach.
So he's saying that the Lord has immortality dwelling in the light. It's not like that's where the immortality lives. It's just showing you this is with like when you go all the way back here, your immortality was written here, way back at day one. So he said that's why you got Jesus being slain from the foundation of the world. So he said, which is in his time he should show who is the blessed and only potentate. So he gonna show who the only and blessed potentate on this seventh day. All right. Then he say only potentate, the King of kings and Lord of lords, who only have immortality, dwelling in the light, which no man can approach unto, whom no man hath seen nor can see, to whom be honor and power everlasting. In Jesus' name, amen. So, with that being said, brothers and sisters, I hope that you got a better understanding of the creation of God, and that he declared the end from the beginning. And I thank you for your time.